Your best programming is useless if your members don't show up. And your cues and your corrections might actually be hurting your client's progress. We're in the business of teaching movement. We're in the business of correcting nutrition. But before any of that, we are in the business of changing behavior. See, people do things for a reason. You probably don't know the reason. They probably won't tell you. And they might not even know the reason themselves. When you focus on keeping clients in your gym for a decade or more, your perspective changes from funnels and sales scripts to behavior modification. You start to wonder about motivation and you start to think about worldview. And you have to ask why. Why do people do things? Why do they do them the way that they do? People don't always put their best foot forward at the gym. After a long day at the office, they might still be replaying an angry conversation with their boss while you're talking about the box squat. They might be thinking about what they'll feed their kids for dinner that night, or they might be wondering, why am I here on a beautiful day like this? As coaches, it's our job to understand why a client is falling off a diet, why a client has bad posture, why a client is distracted in class. We have to ask why before we can explain how. So Jill is canceling her membership in the middle of the month. Why? Rusty hasn't been to the gym for 2 weeks. Why? Trina showed up late for her appointment. Why? Is she disrespecting you? Does she need to be punished? Or is it something else? We're emotional creatures wearing a thin skin of rationality. The more I study behavior, the more I can help people change theirs. So in this series, I'm going to tell you, coach, what we know about human behavior, how to change your clients' behavior so they can achieve the results they want, and how to identify the behaviors that are holding you back. That last one's going to be the toughest. In part 2 of this series, I'll tell you about how the rational mind works with the emotional mind and who wins in a wrestling match. In part 3, I'll tell you our step-by-step process for changing clients' behavior and improving their adherence, and thus their retention in your gym and their long-term results and your revenue. In part 4, I'm going to feature a conversation with Ty Kruger of the Behavior Change Collective and Packerland CrossFit. And in part 5, I'll hold up the mirror to help you identify the behaviors and beliefs that are holding your business back. In the end, theory doesn't matter. Actions matter. Changing health means changing behavior first.